Hello, collective. Welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. This is Intuitive Tarot. We're just gonna dive right in, collective, and get a read on the energy and read cards. So that's where we at right now. All right. Give me 3 cards, Holy Spirit, Holy Angels, in this message, current energy. Give me 3 cards on this message. For my collective. Give me 3 cards on this message for my collective. That's too many, child. It's too many. For one, somebody got a false level of romance. Somebody with friends and benefits. Are they saying that they something that they not? That's the card that one of the cards that did come out. Give me 3 cards, Holy Spirit, Holy Angels, on this message for my collective. That's 3 cards. Let's see what they are. You got 1, suffering in silence. Somebody suffering in silence. It could be going through karma. You know, it's time to pay up. And somebody also could be suffering in silence when it comes to them knowing that they need to do the right thing and maybe have run out of time, you know, to do that. Check your car for a GPS tracker. So somebody tracking somebody's car. I don't know if they got an air tag or something like that on their car or something like that. Somebody could be tracking another person, you know, when it comes to them possibly like walking away, or somebody, you know, maybe, you know, just trying to keep tabs on you, which is never a good thing. But whoever this is that watches me, or whoever you share this with, they need to check their car for a GPS tracker. Look online to see where some GPS trackers are located on your car, if one is to be placed on your car. Sometimes they, you know, up around your top wall of your car, like where your front tires are, you know, things like that. So look into where those, you know, devices may be put. Sagittarius masculine could be of significance. Okay. But somebody's suffering in silence when it comes to, you know, something that they, like I said, maybe need to rectify, make something right, speak up, say something, you know, come clean, tell the truth. Or they dealing with some karma, you know, because they ran out of time, or this is, you know, time, you know, for a lot of people, everybody to pay up. You know what I'm saying? It's time to pay up. It's time to pay the piper. So whatever, you know, season somebody had, you know, they doing their shit, you know what I'm saying? You gotta own up to your bullshit. Stop lying. So somebody's suffering in silence. Why are they suffering in silence? And normally when somebody's suffering in silence, it's mainly because they don't want to be made to look like they the bad guy, or look like they did something wrong when they did, you know, when it comes to taking accountability. And then it could be, you know, the fact that somebody's going through what they wanted for somebody else, spoke on with somebody else. Could be saying angel number 555. Could be of significance. This card talks about huge changes rumbling throughout your entire life. Be sure to keep your thoughts positive. Like I always say, I always in my readings, and sometimes talk about it, you know, in the beginning of the reading. Keep your thoughts positive. Keep your affirmations with you. But, you know, stay centered in prayer and affirmations. I'm telling you. Know what I be talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like I always begin. I try to always begin my readings with that. You know what I'm saying? So keep your thoughts positive. You know what I'm saying? Keep your affirmations with you. If you have to write a separate set of affirmations for the car, you know what I'm saying? If you need to add to the ones you already have, keep a copy in your car, you know, in your purse. You know, if you change purses, make sure you keep your affirmations with you. You know what I'm saying? If you got to record yourself saying them and listening to it, throughout the day and shit like that, keep your thoughts positive. You know what I'm saying? Because some people work in some stressful ass environments. Some people, are part of some stressful groups. You know what I'm saying? They can be that way. So you have to make sure you protecting your energy, keeping your vibration high. Anything else on this message for our collective? Anything else? Give me one more on this message. Yeah, I said one more. Yeah, two came out, but I'm gonna keep these. You got gaining clarity. Somebody's gaining clarity at this time. Could be a Seven of Swords. Seven of Cups in reverse. Somebody could be gaining some clarity. Ace of Swords as well. But, somebody's getting some answers now that they may not have been open to receive before. They may have been ignoring a lot of downloads. That could have been, ignoring red flags. Next card, last card. Your toxic, low vibe was all too much of ish I didn't deserve. See what I'm saying? Somebody toxic, low vibrational ass could have been in a south node way too goddamn long. They could have, stayed too, went somewhere, stayed too long, got involved with somebody, stayed too long. Had some type of behavior, mindset, belief, stayed that way too goddamn long. And it allowed and caused them to treat somebody in a way that they did not deserve. They didn't deserve that. So when it comes to somebody's, transformation, when it comes to somebody, suffering in silence, that's what I'm talking about. They having to deal with them things in the ways that they had, how they done ran a lot of good people off, how they said they didn't like bullshit or don't like drama, and they was the main cause in it. They was the underlying factor in the drama they did, find themselves in. They was the underlying factor. Their behavior was part of the issue of, the involvements they done had with people being toxic, being low vibrational, you know what I'm saying? Being immature, being insecure, and not knowing how to handle themselves, not knowing how to handle the situation, like a mature adult would do. You know what I'm saying? Some people would let their pride get in the way of them doing the right thing. They let their ego, as far as, the amount of people they got to bounce back to. You know what I'm saying? I can go get with this person. They don't like what I do. I go over here with, with Tim, with Stephanie. You know what I'm saying? That's because they tolerate it until they start wanting better for themselves. They ain't gonna fuck with your ass either. They're gonna feel some type of way towards you too. If they didn't before, they will. You know what I'm saying? And folks will go where they can be tolerated instead of just changing their goddamn shit up and being genuine about how reckless they ass them being in people's lives, especially their own. So they suffering in silence. You know what I'm saying? And they was in they toxic ways, you know what I'm saying? They low vibrational mind games and shit like that, toxic ways. But somebody's gaining clarity at this time. Who's gaining? What are they gaining clarity on? Who is this? And you got Sagittarius masculine out here. Next card, spark. From the first time I saw you, it came out in reverse. So this is somebody, could be somebody, that didn't are they denying that there was a spark between you and them when they first saw you, or this is somebody you said this to in the past? There was a spark from the first time you saw somebody. There was a spark there. Now I don't know if it had a lot to do with, that particularly being your person, or the fact that this person, was wearing a mask, and how some folks is when they be cloaked in some energy, that's not their own, and it's just energy that they're using by way of like people they may been around, or an uncle that they know always got somebody, or what I'm saying, a brother that keep them, a a nice piece on the side, or a sister that always keep her a nice looking man on her side, you know what I'm saying? But some people will cloak themselves in your energy to snatch and grab and come up on somebody similar, people similar to what you would normally attract. but they don't know the concept of like what content them people come with. You know what I'm saying? But this is somebody that could have sparked, was a spark between you and this person, or something that you or this person felt from the first time they saw you, or the first time you saw this person. This is this is how you'll know if this is your reading, because this person is somebody that you may have felt like, the first time you saw them, whether it was in person, online, or online and in person, that, there was a spark there. They maybe couldn't explain it. You probably could. You may have, into your journey, or, was new on your journey at that time. You may have awakened at that time when you connected with this person. Either way, this is somebody that, in the past, they were somebody that caught your eye and, pulled on your heartstring. You may have felt like that was your person. You know what I'm saying? That you was going to be with this person. But they're gaining some clarity now at this time. They could be suffering in silence, but they need to check their damn car for a GPS tracker, because, they could be involved with somebody that don't want to let go. You know how some folks is when they dealing with energy vampires, Jezebel spirits, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to them possibly, having that lustful energy, you know what I'm saying? Being promiscuous, just feeling like they got all these options and they laying with every one of them. You know what I'm saying? They flirting with every one of them, and some folks think, flirting ain't cheating and shit like that. But ask a Jezebel spirit what that is, because it's something that you end up having to pay up for too, and sometimes the very long way you end up having to pay up, because laying with a lot of divine beings, or a divine being at that time, and you lied to them about who else you with, and laying with other people that's not divine beings and shit like that, especially if this was your person, yeah, that Jezebel spirit is going to want to keep, pulling from them and anybody else they laying with, that, or whoever they laying with, that's giving them that good energy and stuff like that, good, and you know what I'm saying, get outcomes and things like that, all that come with a divine being. So you have to be mindful of who you lay with, especially when it comes to having to put your foot down with a motherfucker like, listen, I got boundaries. I feel like you doing this, you doing that, you talking like this, you moving like that, and I gotta let your ass go. You know what I'm saying? It was good, you know what I'm saying, while it lasted, but this shit over. I can, you know what I'm saying? And some folks don't believe that. And some folks get caught up on the size and the stroke real fast, and, let all their boundaries go out the damn window. We all done been guilty of that shit, but when you call for your shit back, when you do that repentance of wanting your shit back, and cleansed and restored, and return their shit back to them, shit, they ain't got nobody else. And if any other divine feminine they run into, if they run into that high priestess, they gonna be reminded to be mindful of this person too. You know what I'm saying? Because too many folks, are surface level, or they gotta look good, they gotta look like this. Be mindful of people like that. Because if one can't satisfy one person, if one person can't satisfy a person, you need to stay your ass far away from people like that. Because they'll have anybody. They easy to get. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Jezebel spirits like. They like those that don't have any self-control. They don't have any self-discipline. They see it, they like it. I want it, I got it. You get what I'm saying? Somebody could be listening to Ariana Grande. Nacho Bell Grande. I'm going to start calling her as that. Nacho Bell Grande. Because why in the hell is your name Ariana Grande? Why would you do that? We going to say, oh, that shit rhyme with something. You know what I'm saying? Grande? Really? All right, Taco Nacho Bell Grande. All right. Getting clarity at this time. Getting clarity on. What are they getting clarity on? Somebody holding on to special times of you and them. whatever this person getting clarity on, collective, it's got a lot to do with who you are. Because they having a lot of nostalgia. They could be going through a dark night of the soul. They could be being shown a lot of different errors in their ways. They could be, being shown different scenarios of themselves. When dealing with certain situations, when it came to you, when it came to outside people, when it came to them making choices. They think they having a lot of nostalgia. Gaining clarity at this time. And this is probably why this person is putting two and two together, with who you are, or, when it comes to they issue, with how they were seeing things at the time. Maybe they wasn't awakened at the time. They may have had a lot of things to clear out of their energy. In order to see things clear, they may have had a lot of blockages. Give me some more on this person suffering in silence. Give me some more on this person suffering in silence. Got false level of romance. I told you I seen this card that wanted to come out. It came out. A false level of romance, friends with benefits. All right. So whoever this is suffering in silence could be somebody that, they was possibly, wanting something to appear, like it was the real thing when it really wasn't. Like somebody, had a, how sometimes if you let people be saying, there's those that say, oh, that person don't want nothing serious. It just, it's just smicks. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing serious. We hook up from time to time, yeah, but it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing as far as that person is saying. But they'll take what they can get. Wherever that person's acceptance is at, if they accepting just this person coming around for smicks, yeah. But in deep down, they want something else. You know what I'm saying? So this friends, the benefit got to be benefiting. If the benefits ain't benefiting, then shit, it's just smicks. You know what I'm saying? You just putting yourself in a situation with somebody that, possibly is not ever going to make a decision. And, as far as them being indecisive, it's not a question. It's about what your discernment is telling you. If your discernment is telling you this person just keep coming around and wanting to, put the smack down and shit like that, and they ain't really just trying to break bread with you, they ain't really trying to, check on you, they ain't really, they just coming by to check your temperature, see if you still fuck with them. So if they decide to pop back up, next week, they know they good on that because you in good, you in good spirit when it come to them. They just got to check in from time to time. You got to know when somebody just popping in to check your damn temperature. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, it's like somebody was at a false level of romance, but they suffered in silence now. Because possibly, like I said, something ain't go the way they thought it would go, and they, dealing with some karma. Something that goes around comes around. All right? So if somebody was trying to say another person, that was somebody else's issue with somebody else, like, oh, they was just friends with benefits. They was just, a situationship, you know what I'm saying, that they thought was going to flip and flop over into a relationship or a marriage. No. Something was a false level of romance. You know what I'm saying? Something was not what they thought it was. It was not what it seemed. And it's like unrequited love. You know what I'm saying? Also, it's like somebody that knows and possibly deep down know this person may not love them, but they still make themselves available to them, sexually. Okay? And then, how some folks is, well, he was with me last night. You know how motherfuckers be. They be quick to throw in your face, some smicks they done had with the person. Some type of, involvement they done had with them sexually, physically. You know what I'm saying? But they be ready to, to hurry up and broadcast it and put that out there. But that's just really telling people the content and the basis of why y'all was involved in the first place. My thing is, you know what I'm saying? People be quick to talk about who having sex with who messing around with who. Shit, who paying these bills? who is being there for another person, who is, you know what I'm saying, really concerned. Because if this light bill, if this and that get behind it, we got a goddamn problem. You know what I'm saying? And you can't bring your ass up in here with my lights on and you ain't putting in on these motherfucking lights. If I got to do lights and water and all that by myself, then shit, I'm going to be in that motherfucker by myself. We're going to have to chill out there. We're going to have to chill and talk where I met your ass at, outside. Outside. If I met you passing by, you was in your car, then in your car it's gonna be. We're gonna talk, we're gonna see where it's gonna go, and I'm gonna get out your car, I'm gonna throw you a few dollars on gas if that air is burning your gas, which we know it don't, if it's sitting in park. But, I digress if you know something different. You know what I'm saying? But I can throw you a few dollars to put in your tank and you take your ass on if we don't, if we don't click and clack. That's just simple as that. Bars. Okay? But ain't no need in wasting, good time that we ain't gonna be able to get back on some bullshit that we can just resolve right now. We can just resolve right now. You got rent due, I got rent due. You got bills to pay, I got bills to pay. You ain't doing shit I ain't doing. But at the end of the day, shit, I ain't responsible for yours, you ain't responsible for mine. But if we gonna be together, then we need to look out for each other. I don't need to be chilling at your crib if I can't wash your dishes. I don't need to be eating shit at your crib if I can't wash your dishes, and vice versa. Don't come chill and shit, at my crib if you can't pick up and, you know what I'm saying, I get back off work, I come back in the door, my shit look like it did when I left. Not saying that it's all over the place, but pick up some shit, dude. Treat my shit like it was yours. And then again, don't, because some folks will fuck people in somebody else's crib in a heartbeat. Don't do nothing. Matter of fact, don't do that. That's why, having somebody at your crib, shit, that's what they got hotels and motels for. Meet them over there. You know what I'm saying? Sit and talk over there. We ain't got to be in each other's bedroom. We ain't got to bring, unwanted energy into our domain. You know what I'm saying? But even when you talking about hotels, there's a lot of, a clutter of energy that be all over the damn place. So even if you is in one, cleanse your space, you know what I'm saying? And make sure you protected when you walking in one, and stay protected if you left to live in one. Hell, I didn't even have to do it. So at the end of the day, you have to protect and cleanse and keep your space cleansed, of all kind of different energies that's out there, because ain't no, requirements or who can get a damn room. It's not stated nowhere. They just want you to keep their shit, you know what I'm saying, the way they want you to keep their shit. You know what I'm saying, if that's posted. But you ain't no need in you honoring something that ain't posted. Ain't no need in you even going there. And some folks be wanting to hurry up and create rules, while the night going on, while the clock ticking. Don't work like that. You better post that shit. You gotta write it on a damn some computer paper and a Sharpie. You better have it posted. Okay? Because otherwise it's going down. Next card. Took the kindness you shared from others as competition. Somebody took whatever it was collected. If you I'm getting that you probably not even with this person anymore because somebody suffered in silence. Somebody's gaining clarity. They holding on to a lot of, nostalgia when it comes to the feelings that they have, the memories that they have, the actions that they took. You know what I'm saying? Could be a Sagittarius masculine, so, do keep that in mind. A Sagittarius masculine can be of significance. You could be the Sagittarius masculine. Don't have to be, okay? But somebody took the kindness you shared from others as competition. Somebody gave you something. Somebody, gifted you something, just gave it to you. You know how folks will say, damn, I got like 3 or 4 different, Michael Kors purses, Louis Vuitton or something like that. You want this? Boom, yeah. Let me give you the, the packaging that came in and stuff like that, because I got, more than I need, or, I kind of don't see myself, needing bags like that. I don't really carry them like that, I just want you to have it. Boom. You got it. You may have shared it with that lover, that friend, and said, hey, that parent, whatever. I'm getting this is a lover. Man or woman. Take it how it resonates. But somebody gave you a gift. They gifted you something they already had. They didn't go out and buy it for you or anything like that. This is something somebody passed down, hand me down. They gifted it to you. They may not have used it very much, or you complimented the bag or something like that, gave a compliment. They gave it to you. Hell, I done been guilty of giving that, doing shit like that with people. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's cute. I like that. You can have it. For real? Yeah. You get what I'm saying? And it could be a piece of jewelry. It just doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? You know how much this worth? Yeah. You sure? Mm-hmm. My intentions is pure behind something. If I want you to have it, if I want to give it to you, take it. If you don't, fine. I'm just gonna find somebody else that, the spirit moves me to give it to. You know what I'm saying? Because my connection to it or my, interest in it's faded. You know what I'm saying? It's material shit. When you find out now, like how much some of them bags actually cost, it's giveawayable. It's giveawayable. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to blessings, I get blessed all the time. So why not bless somebody else with something that they don't have to work their ass off to get? Hell, I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? But I did enough to say I was deserving of it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the Most High God and my ancestors, see to it that it makes it to my front door, that it makes it to my hands, and my hands only, they make sure that I receive it, and I make sure that I give thanks for it. I make sure that I give them appreciation and love for it. Who by way or however it came. Okay? Ask for only things that come from them and they with their blessings on it and nothing else. If something moves you to say, no, that's okay, I'm good, stick with that. But if somebody is, openly and genuinely giving you something, know that it's a reward for something that you have, earned. Ain't too many people, got a closet full of shit that they actually bought. It was either given to them, it was gifted to them, it was, something that somebody felt, the need to give them. But at this point, somebody thought that was competition, so they went and got involved with other people or got involved with, as opportunists to compete with you. If this person has some Louis Vuitton luggage, boom, you got a Louis Vuitton purse. They looking like if you got a Louis Vuitton purse, they trying to go get some, you know what I'm saying, some Dolce & Gabbana. They trying to go get, this or that, whatever, your taste is. You know what I'm saying? A Hermes. Whatever they going to get, they going to get it in terms of eventually coming back around you so they can show it off. And then sit back and wait and see, what else you end up with that they don't have. That you just showing them like, look what I found. Look what I came up on. Look what I found for the low. Boom, boom, boom. They took it as competition. Acts of kindness that somebody had towards you, somebody took it as, took that kindness, that act of kindness as, from others as competition. That's another way you'll know who this person is. You may not know that the person took it as competition. Five of Swords, you may not even know that. It could be a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio too. They could have Sagittarius in their chart. But yeah, I'm getting that though. But I feel like, when it comes to somebody not knowing that you dating somebody or involved with somebody that's competing with you, sometimes you don't realize they are until you done cut their ass off and they gone. Whether they ghosted you or you walked away from them. You know what I'm saying? Take it how it resonates. Give me a card on this GPS tracker. Why is this GPS tracker on here? That coat card tried to come out too. I saw it. So somebody could be, in some type of coat group that and they tracking one of they, one of their members or one of their associates or whatever, whoever this is that is, trying to keep tabs on somebody. Somebody part of a group or a religion or organization or something like that that they may not, be trusted, you know what I'm saying? They may be, being watched and making sure, somebody don't go astray and, you know what I'm saying, lead a fold, as they say. I seen that Aries card too. What's going on with this GPS tracker? Check the card for you. GPS tracker. I think they got some wands or something like that. Certain things that you can, wand under your car, like how they have metal detectors, like for the sand and stuff like that. They got some things that you can just, scan it up under your car, or a bed or around a home, when it comes to looking for, devices that may be attached to your car. You got salt and pepper beard. Could be of significance. Check your car for a GPS tracker. Somebody could have a salt and pepper beard. Could be a Sagittarius masculine. Anything else on this GPS tracker? Somebody could have, whoever got the salt and pepper beard could have put it on there, or somebody with a salt and pepper beard. Sagittarius masculine could need to check their car for a GPS tracker. Anything else about the GPS tracker we need to know? Anything else about this GPS tracker we need to know? 7 years. For 7 years wanted to come out. So this could have been something somebody knew for 7 years or more. Could have known this person for a total of 7 years, or was involved with him for a total of 7 years. Something for 7 years. Could have been part of something for 7 years. But that card did want to come out for 7 years. And another thing, like I said before, with this GPS tracker, somebody don't want somebody to get away, or they want to keep tabs on somebody, possibly because they may be moving different. They may be talking different and stuff like that. So some people, try to keep, their transformation or the things that they seeing differently or whatever they moves are silent. You know what I'm saying? Anything else on the GPS tracker? You got happiness hater. It came out in reverse. Somebody trying to, appear to be somebody that's happy for somebody, or trying to appear to be like they okay, like they, all with being supportive, and you know what I'm saying. Somebody faking being happy. Because they are happiness haters. Somebody, like I said, they're an energy vampire. They go after people that, they feel like, especially if this is somebody that they got with, as a friends with benefits, you know what I'm saying? Unrequited connection, where there's unrequited love here. Somebody got with another person, possibly thinking, they would keep that person around, by doing whatever they needed to do, even though they knew that was just something, that was temporary. But even temporary shit, people, expect to carry it out for even longer. They don't expect the change to even happen, even though they know the shit is temporary. But this is somebody that, is a happiness hater. This is somebody that will, fake appear around, be fake around you about your progress or your changes or your advancement. You know what I'm saying? But behind closed doors, this person trying to shut that shit down. They trying to shut it down. Somebody trying to hide that they're a happiness hater. They don't have nothing good to say about somebody's, good news. They don't have nothing good, coming out of their mouth or in their spirit and their soul, when it comes to them possibly, being genuinely supportive and happy for another person. Your toxic low vibe was all too much of shit I didn't deserve. Person could be from Mississippi, or you could be from Mississippi, whoever it is. Toxic low vibing ass person was that had all this low vibing ass toxic shit that they dished out that you didn't deserve. You could be from Mississippi. Both of y'all could be from Mississippi. Don't take out resonate. Next card, mad that he wants to marry you and not her after all this time. See what I'm saying? Telling you. Whatever somebody thought they connection with that person was gonna bring, was gonna result into and shit like that, did not happen. Did not happen. It's like somebody saying, I know I fucked over a collective. I know I did some foul ass shit toward the collective, at a time where I probably thought, being with all these different people or being able to come back to you and do what I wanted to do because they won't let me do it over there and shit like that. That's the person that I would genuinely fuck with if I was gonna fuck with anybody. If I was gonna give a commitment to anybody, it's gonna be that person. And I was a fool not to do it right off the bat because I still had people that would, let me do what I want to do, play how I want to play, do what I want to do, say what I want to say. Adams family. So somebody could have somebody's last name could be Adams. Could be a significance. So somebody definitely was dealing with somebody. They, like I said, they could have been from Mississippi or something like that, or you from Mississippi, or currently living there. But whoever this person is, they had a toxic, low vibing way of dealing with you or being around. When they were around you, and they, gave off a lot of behavior and treated you in ways you didn't deserve. You know what I'm saying? And they was in their South Node. But of course, when people in their South Node and they handling situations or they in connections with people that may be light workers, they may be divine beings, you're going to experience, that low vibrational shit because it pull on your energy. It makes you feel ways and put up with shit, at a time where, even if you felt like this was your person, it's like seeing your child come back from the military, right? And you ain't seen them in a whole year, which seemed like longer when you finally lay eyes on them because not everybody, is able to welcome, a loved one back from being, wherever they were for a long period of time without tears. You know what I'm saying? But it's almost like you expect the change in them to come along with it when they come back. So you just be anticipating what that change is, but not knowing, not expecting it in the worst way, but in the best way. You know what I'm saying? And seeing your person or having that spark between you and another person could have been, what this person, was battling against when it came to them at this point suffering in silence. Because they may have gotten involved, with somebody that was just friends with benefits, just a situationship. And it was something that they may have thought, well, I'm going to try to see where it's going to go. We've been going good this far, this long, or we've been doing this. I've been able to do that. They still be around. They still come back fuck with me. Whatever the case may be, I've been knowing them longer. They may have got over there and thought that this person was going, and they may have thought this person messing around with them, and you was going to result in them, being able to be with this person longer than you because they may have bowed down and did a whole lot of shit that they normally wouldn't do just to be with this person. And even that shit didn't keep this person, satisfied. But they mad that he wants to marry you. Take it how it resonate now. Because this happiness hater is not somebody, to be, it's like a queen of wands. All right. This is somebody that will be vengeful. They will go out of their way to make something, to sabotage something just because they feel like it ain't happening. It's not happening for them. They don't want it to happen. They don't want this person to get to some type of divine union. They do not want this person to awaken. They don't want this person to change their trajectory. They don't want them to do that. And that's a lot of times some people feel like if I invest this much time into somebody, if I spent that much time like that shit with that lockup stuff, get with somebody, they get out of jail, they decide, okay, you was good, while I was in there, you kept me motivated, you prayed me out of that situation. Now I'm out. Shit, boom, let me get what let me do what I've been wanting to do. I'm out now. You know what I'm saying? Now you trying to keep up with what this person want to do versus what they told you they're going to do when they got out. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But they mad this person want to marry you and not her after all this time. And they could have, been involved with this person about as long as you for 7 years. They could have been involved with this person for a total of 7 years, off and on. They've been involved with this person about as long as you. And this person may have tried to, carry cake and eat it too. But even then, that person in the back of their mind kept thinking of you. It's like somebody keep coming around when they know you slipping away. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, it's like somebody already be on somebody and not knowing if they got that feeling with you. Like, I ain't never felt this way for this person. I've been with them way before I got with the collective. And for some reason, I feel this way toward them. I feel this way toward them. They feel this way toward me. But I already been with so-and-so. And so-and-so, been, sticking around and fucking with me, back and forth. And people think, and whoever this person is, they may have took you to meet their parents and shit like that. But their parents know about this other person too. And people think that that's the next move. It used to be a flex. It used to be. GNX, It used to be a flex to meet somebody's parents. Not now. Not now. No. Not no. If a motherfucker bring, different dudes around their parents, they'll bring different women. And I know of some dudes. I got some people in my family that will do it. You know what I'm saying? They've done it. I know it can be done. And I ain't gonna say, you can't look at other people, ways and think that shit won't happen to you, or you won't ever see it, or you won't be able, you won't be able to be front and center when it's going on with somebody else. Because you're gonna get the experience, you're gonna get the shit up close and in person, or you're gonna get it personally. But you're gonna get the experience. And the lesson you're gonna get from it, take what you need, leave the rest behind. But don't never think what somebody else's situation is won't ever be you. Folks want what another person have all the time. They want that happiness somebody else have. Want the happiness that's in store for you. Damn somebody else's happiness. Support them in their happiness. Love, on them for their happiness. But don't want their damn happiness. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you can do anything, if you can't do nothing else, don't do that. Want the happiness that you deserve. Somebody else's happiness may not all be what you think it is. And then you don't know what they're doing for that happiness to be that way. And it may be more than what you're willing to do. So want the happiness you deserve. That you capable of, saying that I will do and will be submissive and obedient to the Most High God, that if he do send me this person, if the person that I'm manifesting is the person that, is who I deserve and that I'm prepared for, that I'm in line for, then yeah, let me have that happiness that come with that. And nothing less. Nothing less than that. Okay? But I feel like, when it comes to somebody wanting another person to stick around, they did what they could. They did what they could. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like when it comes to somebody having that person that they will do right by, they know. They know. And it's like, wanting to hold on to that person for dear life. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like, I may never meet. And this person may have manifested you, somebody like you, collective. But like they say, most men say, some people and women don't know a good thing when it's staring them right in the face. Then Gerald Levert say that. You've been abused for so long. Love gets faded and it all seems the same. And you got dudes that do the same shit. They will let a whole bunch of toxic connections and relationships they done been in, and then they family they done seen some of their family members in, and it all get faded. And they all start to feel like, all the connections they get in eventually gonna turn out to be that, or end up feeling like that. And they carry the same behavior and actions with them to deal with that stuff until they come across somebody that don't deserve that shit. They didn't deserve that shit. That low vibrational behavior somebody was in from all them toxic friends with benefits, connections and shit they done hopped themselves in. The right one came along and they was still stuck in them goddamn ways. They was still doing that shit. However they felt like, an insecurity or some type of gesture you brought up or some kindness you shared with them that somebody else did for you, they took all that shit in low vibrational mindset, in low vibrational context. They took all that shit that way. And however they reacted to it is what they, would normally do when it came to, people they was with. Or the people that was around them. People they, had done seen from a distance, do the same shit. They've been around family members, probably even siblings that supported them in their behavior on how they handled something, all because that's how they saw it. That's not how it actually was, though. That's not how it actually was. People all the time, like they say, you're guilty until you're proven innocent in a court of law, whether it's spiritual law, spiritual court, or physical, actual court, where the public, free to come sit in until they say otherwise. But at this point, it's like, yeah. But they gaining some clarity at this time. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it ain't just on the situation at hand when it comes to you collective. It's about all this shit across the board. And they, like I said, dealing with a lot of nostalgia because this is somebody that, like you, they felt a spark between you and them the first time they saw you in person. The first time you may have met this person online, off some platform, and eventually met this person in person. Or you may have, met this person right off the bat in person, cross paths, and it was like love at first sight. That song by Carl Thomas, I think that's by him. It was love that. Yeah. I don't know how that is the name of that song, but I know it's by Carl Thomas. When he said it was love at first sight. He also said he wished he had never met her at all either. And some people can feel that way, when love take hold of them, at a time where they was least expecting it, thinking that kind of person or love didn't exist. And then they, be in the ways that they use and they suffer in silence. Like somebody suffering in silence because of how they treated you. And they may have put you in a third party with somebody that, was a happiness hater. And how they dealt with a happiness hater, you know what I'm saying, not knowing that they is one. They may have been in competition with that person. They probably left, messed around with other people too. They may have messed around. They both had, it's like somebody, friends with benefits. Somebody would like probably already had somebody. This person, your person, had you in mind. They probably was involved with you. Whoever they was involved with, this third party, they had somebody too. Or they had other people they was messing around with too when they met your person. They had somebody on the side too, whether this person know it or not. But they may have been back and forth with each other on a flex because they, hurry and get back with the other person or try to check the other person because you got some sugar daddies that'll do that shit. You know what I'm saying? You got some married men that'll still try to, run the household of another side chick just because they pay a bill over them. Instead of just being with her, they not gonna make a decision because you already knew they was married. You still wanted that, you still wanted in. So this is what you got to deal with, and that person gonna try to run your damn house too. Who over there? Why you ain't at home already? You supposed to been home by all this shit here, and now he got to figure out what he gonna tell his wife so he can come check up on you. Matter of fact, let me get you a new phone. So, I can track your phone because I know you ain't going to go nowhere without your phone, but make sure you cut that GPS on. And if you don't, I'm still going to be able to track your ass if you take that phone with you because what the hell you doing over there? What the fuck you doing over there by McAllister's? You don't live over there. Who over there this time of night? Everything closed, so what you doing? That kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So... But Mississippi could be of significance. Somebody could have a salt and pepper beard. They could have Sagittarius in their chart, or they can just be a Sagittarius masculine. All right. Show me this person suffering in silence. Show me this person suffering in silence and why. Show me this person suffering in silence and why. Yeah, they're going through a transformation, like I said. Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Pisces energy. Got Scorpio out here with this death. But somebody heart chakra is activated. Their heart chakra activated. They going through, they letting some things that they once, was like, some beliefs, some outdated views, some bad habits and shit, they letting that shit fall away. You know what I'm saying? So they going through some type of transformation when it comes to, them, their heart chakra being activated. But this is, a new opportunity too. But it may come, this new opportunity may not come with some type of, this new opportunity may not come. It may come, but this opportunity may not come without some type of backlash. This could be, a set of whole new problems, for this person that they're going to have to deal with, moving forward with this death. Because somebody's going through a death. Like I said, it could be going through a dark night of the soul. I ain't got the devil yet. But I honestly feel like this person, is going through, an awakening. They're going through an awakening. You know what I'm saying? But this is things that need to, the excess, the unnecessary things, attached to them, about them, that need to fall away. They need to be done with that. And that person may not have wanted to believe some of them things in ways that they had was not needed in that connection with you, was not needed when they crossed paths with you. But it was hard. The bad habits die hard now. They it's like cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? This person could smoke. Since that came up, it could be a smoker. You may not have even knew that person was smoking. They may have put smoking down. They may have, smoked when they can't get that, you know what I'm saying, when they can't get they real medicine. You know what I'm saying? When they can't get their weed, they probably smoke. You know what I'm saying? It may do both. But you got Scorpio out here with the death. You got the Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck with the Queen of Swords. And the Ten of Swords. Yeah. Somebody may have felt like they ain't had no other choice but to walk away in that situation that, they was presented with, when it came to who you are and your boundaries. You know what I'm saying? They may have had no other choice but to walk away. It's at the bottom of the damn deck. They may feel abandoned. You know what I'm saying? You may have walked away from this person because they left you no choice. They ain't had no other damn choice but to walk away because of your boundaries. That clear communication that you have of like what you want, what you gonna do, what you own, and, speaking up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And this cycle done ended. You had to close out a cycle. It may have, been hard to do. It may have been painful to do. But, who gonna take that many damn swords in their back before you, realize that somebody just need to be left the fuck alone? You gotta let somebody go and let them grow. Let them go, let them fly, let them, multiply and that, whatever. You get what I'm saying? But the shit had to end. At this point, it's like, the only way you're going to be able to prosper and grow is to clear negative shit out your energy. Could be a Scorpio that's suffering in silence. Because somebody going through a transformation. What's the death? Suffering in silence. Clarify the death. What's the death? What I said. Somebody making a decision, baby. I'm telling you, this your person. And I feel like when it came to the connection or the spark that was felt, it was like, whoever this is, that they may have been with was a false person. This was somebody wearing a mask. They wanted, probably wanted this person to believe they was with their person already because they was with them longer than you. And they may have wanted this person to believe that they was their actual person, like they was the divine feminine. You know what I'm saying? They was the empress. But this is a lover, that at one time, they was not sure if what they were feeling was something, that they could act on or was safe to act on, especially at a time when they crossed paths with you, when they probably was stuck in their damn soft node and had a lot of karmic cycles open, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of toxic, immature behavior still going on. And like again, this is somebody that will say they don't want drama and bullshit, but they the underlying factor in the shit though. the shit that they doing and the people they connected to and involved with and get on with. This is the reason why they don't like drama and bullshit, because they know they already dealing with it. They know somebody they messing around with already come with that shit. But that's what they deal with, because that person lets them, they can say what they need to say and still be able to go back and fuck with that person. They wanted to make you out to be that person. But until you done had enough, you gotta have enough first. Once you done had enough and cut their ass off, that's more than what anybody here would do. And this is why somebody feel like, them being around after all this time, they done put up with this person messing around with you and other people, and they still take them back. They still have some way of luring that person back in, having something that person want. And they still have some type of, control over having that person back around them whenever they want them to. Whenever they want them. That person may feel like they're controlling this op, but they not. This op is controlling them, and they're allowing it because they keep going back entertaining it, what a Jezebel spirit would do. That's how you end up with a Jezebel spirit attachment, on you, because you're dealing with somebody, or you are somebody that keeps wanting a person back around because of the good feeling they give you, but it ain't all they feeling. If they dealing with a divine being, they coming back feeding your damn Jezebel spirit, that demonic entity that's on you, that spirit that you hold. They feeding that. That's the good shit they feeling. It ain't just that wood. It's the good energy that they done came in contact with outside of you, or outside of them. They done came in contact with some good energy. It can awaken them. It can shake them to their very core. But they'll never forget you. And neither will the person, that Jezebel spirit, that they messing around with either. So that's how a lot of times people can tell that person done been with somebody else, because that feeling that they get with that Jezebel spirit don't be the same as what they got with that light entity, that divine being. And they'll keep going back to that divine being and being so hung up and thinking, man, it's so good over there. Yeah. But the person you keep going back to enjoying it too. And that's why some people put up with it for a while until that person that they was with longer than you, they'll put up with it for a while until they, feel like that person is really and truly, interested over there. And when they know they can't make that person leave you alone, they start doing, and being a certain way toward them, doing work on them and all kind of shit to make sure that person don't get hung up over there on you. And right now, this person, like I said, they're a happiness hater. They're an energy vampire. They're a Jezebel spirit. You know what I'm saying? But this is somebody that, because they were low vibrational, because they were promiscuous, because they were indecisive, now they making a decision. Two of Pentacles. Now they're making a decision from having all this, shit being said. Somebody constantly trying to say things, Two of Swords in reverse, to keep them confused. Having them in some mental turmoil to where they don't know who to believe, who telling the truth, and all this shit like that. Who is who? Who? The fucking owl. Like somebody, it's like, everybody feet trying to fit one branch on that who shit. Somebody could be a Saints fan with that who that. But yeah. It's like somebody, was trying to figure out, why somebody, why happiness and things like that, follow somebody, but it's the truth. Like somebody, was trying to tell somebody who they were, but it was the truth. And it's about happiness. It's about balance. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like somebody didn't have that before. But they going through a transformation, now. They let things fall away for this connection. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is that they happen to deal with is because, they going through a dark night of the soul. Somebody is, being shown the error in their ways. And they going through a transformation for this connection. You could awaken this person. Clarify gaining clarity at this time. What are they gaining clarity on? What are they gaining clarity on at this time? Gaining clarity at this time. Clarify what they, Two of Wands. The Knight of Swords in reverse at the bottom of the deck. Somebody is, in the past, like somebody, may have been, they missed the opportunity, because of their ways. You know what I'm saying? The way they came off, they were, possibly rude. You know what I'm saying? They may have been arrogant. They could have also, been abusive, when it came to abusing their power, you know what I'm saying, using their words, in ways to where they, made you feel some type of way, or not using the words that they, could have looked more into, you know what I'm saying, being more careful with. And sometimes some people don't be careful how they speak, because a lot of times they speaking out of anger. Okay, but they taking this leap of faith. They, you know what I'm saying, gaining the truth about a situation, going on this discovery. You know, when it comes to whatever the unknown was that they were afraid of in the past or before. So this is about them making decisions, making choices. You know what I'm saying, being confident enough to go in whatever direction they need to go in to get the answers, to get the outcome, to go and see. You know what I'm saying? They're gaining clarity at this time. So if they traveling forward, if they, you know what I'm saying, they planning, it's about them making some type of discovery. You know what I'm saying, at this time, of how and what caused them to miss this opportunity with this Knight of Swords in reverse. And it mainly had a lot to do with the fact that this person wasn't using their intuition. They were in their ego and some motion, thinking with the wrong head, or thinking with the wrong, set of people, the way they, been going back and forth, and probably, listening to outside people and not listening to their own discernment and intuition. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. And you'll have to find the way to strengthen that back up, and, what I'm saying, plead with the Most High God, in knowing, in your spirit team, and knowing that, with this being returned to you, that you will be able to safely use it and, make use of it. Because if you don't use it, you will lose it. It's just like any gift, any talent. You know what I'm saying? You have to activate it, and you can't when you being reckless and abusive and manipulative. You know what I'm saying? You got to know when to use your gifts for this, when to use your gifts for that. And don't overly extend, you know what I'm saying, going over that limit of, constantly doing something, especially if somebody don't deserve it. But they making a decision. They going on this discovery, you know what I'm saying, to get the truth. But they gaining clarity at this time. Clarify the Two of Wands. Could be an Aries. I told you I seen Aries in the makeshift death when I was shuffling. What's the Two of Wands? The Star. Somebody getting clarity about a star. They're getting clarity. It could be up for an Aquarius. Don't have to be. It could be any air sign. All right. But it's given that, somebody is possibly, going through a rebirth as well. Like they could be being guided, when it comes to this clarity. And I feel like a star was sent, you know what I'm saying, to them. And I feel like this was, you got the Tower at the bottom of the deck with the Strength, Chariot, and the Two of Cups. So, like I said, somebody is, gonna be shocked, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to somebody's, confidence, their strength, you know what I'm saying, to move forward, to go through, with this Chariot, to move forward, deal with, what they gonna have to deal with, when it comes to moving forward in this connection. It's at the bottom of the deck. I cannot fucking make it up. Like, you're gonna be shocked. It's gonna cause a tower for somebody too. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to this person's strength. And somebody was maybe shocked, about yours. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, resisting change and spiritual influence don't get you nowhere. It only just makes you look like a happiness hater. It makes you look like somebody that has a God complex. The Most High God, you got a complex. But at some point, you're gonna call on some God to get some type of favor. You're going to call on some deity, some spirit, some entity to get some type of favor. So you believe in something. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the strength in your willpower, you know what I'm saying, to go through whatever it is, regardless of whether it's, the worst of it or it could get worse. You know what I'm saying? But it's staying the course, seeing something through. and taking God with you, taking the Most High, and Mother God with you when you're going through things. Don't leave them out of the loop, because if it was not for them looking out for you and loving on you, you wouldn't have made it this far. And some folks that think, the Most High God don't see their ass doing the corrupt shit that they doing, He got His well letting you know. You just keep trying to do something that, to mask it, that is, taken away from you. That is warning you of what's being taken away and what's going to be taken away. Some folks will do anything to mask that look for everybody else. But whether you close your eyes or live with your eyes wide open, you're going to see it. You know what I'm saying? And justice will be served. But this is, somebody now being guided. They could be being guided, to travel towards you. You know what I'm saying? They could be going through a rebirth. You may have went through this rebirth, but they going through a rebirth. And you may have went through one. You know what I'm saying? So you could be gaining some clarity, at this time about this person's decisions. And they could be gaining clarity for themselves. Whoever this Aries is 2 of Wands. You got Aries out here. You got Aquarius. You got Scorpio out here as well. And you got the Lovers out here, Gemini. All right. So show me this happiness hater. Why is this happiness hater in reverse? Somebody done got left out in the fucking cold. Somebody that they may have chosen over you or got involved with, over you. Okay? I'm just saying, Spirit said that's the truth. You got the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. This clarity. All right? But it's the start of some conflict, too. Because ain't nobody gonna get no truth without, the truth is always, sent, us into a war. Whether it's spiritual warfare, or physical war. The truth always gonna send a whole, the truth is always come with some bloodshed. Okay? It's always gonna come with some mean mugs and some unhappy faces. You know what I'm saying? Even if they gotta draw the damn smile on their face, like Joker. Even if they gotta draw a smile on their face, know that, the majority of the people that are happiness haters, they hide behind people that are really genuine people. They hide among them. Okay? You'll see folks 9 times out of 10 show you an old photo of some shit that, went down years ago, and they took photos of it, like the Million Man March. It's hard to find that. It is hard to find a big picture of the Million Man March when they had that Million Man March. You don't even hear them talking about that no more. And now I think, sometime this month that they supposed to have 1,000-man march in Jackson, Mississippi. Right? So when it comes to a million-man march, it's hard to find. You can go look it up now. You'll probably find something about 9/11 before you find something about that million-man march in number. Like you got to dig deep to get the receipts on that million-man march, because they don't want you to believe 1 million black men came together. 1 million melanin men came together. And it may not have, resulted in some bloodshed or nothing like that, or somebody's life being took, or dogs being sicked on them and all that. Trust me, they're going to make sure that that's erased from history, that ever happened. But if you don't believe me, go look it up. Go and find as many receipts on that million-man march as you can that ain't, a repeat of one picture or article or something like that. See how many things you can pull up on that. Versus, that 9/11, that them Twin Towers. One can be, a conspiracy theory. But that million-man march is the goddamn truth. Like, you ain't no need making, a false, narrative to go as to why 1 million black men came together. Melanin men. Not nobody that got, a melanin black friend that showed up. No. Million-man march. Look it up. All right. But whoever this happiness hate is, their ass is left out in the cold. This is somebody probably left out in the cold in the past, or somebody hiding the fact that their ass is pissed off that whoever they left you out in the cold for is being left behind, for that person to come right back around to you and do what? Marry you. Marry you. Marry you. You ain't got to marry the person. I'm just saying. And this clarity got somebody in their fucking head. Could be a Gemini. They having, you know what I'm saying, sleepless nights and shit behind this truth because this person is asking, they got these curiosity questions. You know what I'm saying? They want to know, you know what I'm saying? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, somebody want to know. You know, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? They could be talking to somebody, asking somebody like, man, what do I need to say? You know, how do I get my point across? How do I say this in a better way? You know what I'm saying? How do this person even still want to be with me? You know what I'm saying? You got the magician. Do this person Virgo energy? Do they, you know what I'm saying? But this person manifesting. They could be talking to the Most High God, having that come to Jesus moment. Because 4 of Cups, whatever they thought, you know, was the way to go, or however their behavior was when it came to their emotions and shit like that, or however they played other people's emotions and chopped it up to thinking, you know, this person probably ain't serious about me. They just like this. They just, you know what I'm saying? They ain't tripping on me. They want to fuck my car kind of energy. But somebody was really fucking with them. And they, you know, did the wrong person wrong. You shouldn't be doing nobody wrong intentionally. I'm just saying. Let's see what's going on with this kindness you shared. Clarify the kindness you shared from others is took the kindness you shared from others as competition. Who is this? Child, Libra energy. You could be this Libra, you could be this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, that somebody took the kindness somebody shared with you over a broken heart. You know, or over some type of separation. They could have had their heart broken. They could have, you know, had some type of emotional pain going on. They, you know, could have felt like some type of betrayal. They may have felt like, you know, you was messing around with somebody else and you really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? They may have felt like that was a betrayal. I don't know. 6 of Cups at the bottom of the deck with the Ace of Cups. 7 of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. Yeah, somebody was, you know, possibly going back, telling somebody, you know, what you said, or they looking at, you know, some type of, you know, emotional pain that they may have been going through because somebody gave you something. You know, they may have felt like that was a betrayal. They may have felt like, you know, somebody other than somebody, you know, being a friend gave you something. They may have felt like you did something for this. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to some type of upset. You know what I'm saying? That somebody gave you something out of kindness. They could have been upset about that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, they could have been dealing with, you know, the fact that they may have felt like, you know, you was doing it in a way to like cause them intentionally, like, you know, trying to rub something in their face. But, you know, this is somebody that's having a lot of nostalgia too. You know, they having an emotional awakening as well. I told you that. Like somebody, you know, is gaining possibly a new opportunity, you know, to approach a situation, or, you know, a new opportunity in love with this person now that they, you know, done went through what they went through. What's this 3 of Swords? They took the kindness you said with others as competition. Clarify the 3 of Swords. 4 of Pentacles. And this person held back. This person made breadcrumb. They may have held back. They may have had, you know, this stubborn way of thinking. Had this one-track mind of thinking, you know, the longer they held back, you know, from you or something like that, and they may have done that, you know, out of emotional pain because somebody gave you something. They may have held back from you. You know what I'm saying? And they may have, you know, taken longer to give you something because they feel as though, you know, somebody else giving you something, you know, and it ain't them. So they may have held back. They may have breadcrumbed you. You know what I'm saying? They may have been penny pinching. You know, their finances may not have been where they wanted them to be at, you know, to do for you what somebody else out of kindness did. You know what I'm saying? But they may have used it as a way to control, you know, how they felt, or how, you know, you would get something from them, especially if they were, you know, in fear of change. You know how somebody feel as though, like, if I do for you what I did for somebody else, you might just be with me for what I have, or you might just be with me for what I can give you. So they held back. And this may be somebody that, you know, wanted to marry you. They seen you as that. You know what I'm saying? But there's a loss here. because they decided to be, vengeful, spiteful, or they were involved with somebody in the past that, did shit towards them out of anger. You know what I'm saying? Just purposely did that to piss them off. You know what I'm saying? So they may have felt like that's why you did what you did, or you shared that with them. And then genuinely, you just was sharing it with them because it actually was an act of kindness. In the past, this person dealt with somebody that did it and as a slap in the face. And they went on and treated what you did out of act of kindness the way they did that person. They may have not been able to get that person back for how that person did them when they were spending and breaking the bank on them. But they, Four Pentacles like shit saying, I ain't finna do that again. I had my heart broke one time, with somebody giving them something and shit like that, using that as a way to think they gonna get something out of me and this and that. Shit, I'm gonna show them. And they did that to the wrong person. You genuinely was giving them this, I'm sharing this with them genuinely. And this person knew that they wanted, something with you. They know, you know what I'm saying? And they could have been married, you know what I'm saying? Don't have to be, but at the same time, this is somebody, 4 of Wands at the bottom of the deck with the 5 of Cups. Somebody could be 54. Or 45. But yeah. Especially if they were dealing with somebody in the past that, like I said, used them and was with them for what they can get out of them, friends with benefits. And somebody may have took that to be something that they felt like, would develop into something more because this person was willing to, you know what I'm saying? They was getting what they wanted out that person at the time. So they may have felt like, well, shit, that's my person. I'm going to be with them. You know what I'm saying? And this person like, look, I want to be with somebody. You know what I'm saying? They was dealing with a Queen of Wands anyway, in reverse. Can't make it up. But, at the end of the day, this person, they mad that this person don't want to marry them. They want to marry you. And after all this time that they've been getting what they getting out of this person and being the way they have been with this person, that they don't want to be with them like that. Not the long way. And this person is holding on to all them special, times they had with you. You know what I'm saying? But they, it's something they, they feel like they need to make up for, or something that they, now know that they, clear on what they needed to do and that they did what they did to the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? And they had some ways about them that got in the way. That's the reason why they missed this opportunity. And they could have left you out in the cold. You know what I'm saying? You could have been going through some things. You could have been struggling, yeah. But it wasn't something that, you was asking this person for or anything like that, because you take care of yourself. 9 of Pentacles. You all, what I'm saying? You self-efficient. You know what I'm saying? You patient to wait on, whatever it means it is to take care of your business affairs. You know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, this person may have given to a lot of people. They may have, been taken care of by a lot of people and not, wanting to be vulnerable in that way to where somebody else is able to get something out of them and that person just want them for what they have and what they can buy them. You know what I'm saying? And not being with somebody that actually deserve it. And I feel like that's what somebody here from Mississippi is saying. Like, your toxic, your low vibe was all too much of shit that I didn't deserve. It was all a bunch of stuff that you did not deserve. And it's like that. And nobody has a tolerance for shit like that. If you do, you learn quick and fast how to leave that shit alone. But, at the end of the day, collective, listen. If somebody can reciprocate what you put out, it's going to take the universe and the Most High God to bring that person back around to you the right way. And it's going to take the Most High God and your spirit team making that person stand on business and making sure that you know how to let your guard down when this person come back to do what they know now they as being shown, needs to be done. Because for some of you, there's a divine contract you have with a counterpart when it comes to your assignment. Okay, some chosen ones don't, they have that choice of whether they want to be with somebody. But the assignment is what it is. And some of you are destined and, to be together because of the assignment. You don't incarnate with your soulmate every incarnation. You know what I'm saying? One is gonna be on the other side to protect those vulnerable things, those valuable things about you. But at this point, some people may get something close to a counterpart, your soulmate, which is like a kindred spirit, and you have a close connection with this person, a mutual, feeling with this person, you know what I'm saying? But some things are universal. No matter what realm, you and this person in, you will find each other. You will come back together. You know what I'm saying? You will come together. So there could be some judgeable spirits and stuff like that, but this person going to have to clear them out their energy. They're going to have to cleanse their energy. They're going to have to call for their energy back. They're going to have to, repent and live a life starting that moment of, reclaiming themselves and their energy and they soul, their spirit back, to balance. You know what I'm saying? So that they can be in alignment and ascend like they're supposed to, without all this, you know what I'm saying, karmic debt on them. These karmic contracts or a contract they had open that they need to close out. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to come with some karma. It's going to come with some, some towers. But it's necessary because of them resisting change and not paying attention to the red flags and leaving, and doing people the right way. You don't get too many options to do somebody the right way. You know what I'm saying? To do something right. And that's what you see going on now is people, trying to, do a whole damn, trying to open up a whole new contract. You know what I'm saying? By way of what you see going on now with people, wanting to, just looking like lives don't, you know what I'm saying, don't mean anything. But all these sacrifices, to keep a contract open ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. Just the spirits of them people are going to come back and hunt the very people that sacrificed them. And some people, don't want to look at it like that. But trust me, them people, if they sacrificing people like the way they're doing now, by any means necessary, trying to, provoke some type of, trying to play out a whole nother ritual in our face, you know what I'm saying, to get what they want, from whatever deity or demon, you know what I'm saying, that they done called on, ain't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? They going to have to pay what they like. They going to have to do that. That return to sender is going to be something that they can't reverse. So, I'm going to end with this collective. This is Intuitive Tarot. Make sure you're on the right side of spiritual warfare. All right? Make sure you're on the right side of love. Be genuine or be handled. As simple as that. Be genuine about what you put out. Be genuine about your intentions, when you come towards a person. Be genuine about the people that you support. Be genuine about the people you view and follow. Be genuine. Or there will be, a price to pay. There will be some consequences. Because if you try to, embark on, being a blockage or being, disruptive in their assignment and what they doing on their journey, you'll fall by the wayside with the rest of them. And it won't be, that person needing to forgive you to make it okay. You're going to have to do way much more than that, and you may not have that much time to do that. You know what I'm saying? So do the right thing now while you got the time before you out of time. And we talking about divine timing. We ain't talking about the time on your phone. We ain't talking about the time on your laptop. We ain't talking about the time, on the dash of your car. We're talking about divine timing. And some folks' divine timing is tomorrow. And in heaven, when it comes to being on, as above, so below, that yesterday was like last year. It was like a year. It's been long enough. Okay? Do the right thing. And I always end my readings with this. Do something nice for someone today, even if you don't know them. If the person in front of you, got a large or a small, medium purchase, and you got it like that, if you don't mind, take care of their tab and pay for yours and send them out the door with a smile. Because I guarantee you the feeling they give you will be one that you ain't going to be able to top, saying that you've ever did something that made you feel that good. When you genuine about it. Some people do shit for views. But when you do something for the Most High God because he done did it for you in other ways and more ways than one, you don't mind, blessing somebody else the way you done been blessed, if not beyond. Don't let somebody have to ask you for help. Some folks just don't have it in them. They done asked people for help before and got scrutinized, got sized up, got asked about their whole damn life only for somebody to say, oh, I ain't got it. Huh? You get what I'm saying? So know when you talking to a happiness hater. Because those be the ones sometimes that they don't mind hearing your story. They just ain't got shit to contribute. And they not. People dealing with it on TikTok right now. They don't mind, following you. They don't mind you following them. But don't ask me to follow you and like some of your content. But I'm going to end it here, collective. This is Intuitive Tarot. Make sure you guys do something nice for someone today. All right, my guys and goddesses, my kings and queens. Make sure y'all do something nice for someone today. Show people what, genuine love with real motherfuckers like. What it is to be real. Show them what it's like. Because some folks don't believe we out here. Okay? Make sure you hit that like, that subscribe on your way out. Until next time, those of you that genuinely love me, know that I love you too. Mwah. Bye.